My name is Lonnie Webb. I am the artist and writer behind Destiny Mountain Demon. That is a Kickstarter on Indiegogo right now. There are only 10 days left to jump out there and grab a copy of it. It is going to be $5, and I would really appreciate you backing the project. If you want to back at a higher level, that would be even better, but I'm looking for raw numbers. More people in the comic readers audience, that's what I'm looking for. So what I'm doing today is I am coloring John Rhodes' Fat Girl page 6. I believe that's page 6. It looks like page 6. So I'm coloring this, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to lay on a background layer and then follow that up with some other things. What we're going to do first, though, is the most important thing that you must do before you ever start a project on a page. And that is, you have to go prep what you're going to eat. All right, now I'm going to be painting me some pages and maybe inking some pages later today. So before you start with inking and painting comics, you gotta get your groceries taken care of. Now this is a pulled pork. This is a pork shoulder or pork butt, and they mean the same thing. What you see in front of you is the slow version. We're going to go a little bit low and slow in the smoker with this. Oh, so I made up a rub using my favorite stuff. It's going to be a little bit hot. You can see a little bit of paprika and a little bit of chili powder in there. So the family's a little bit on the Asian side, so we're going to have us some kind of smoky, hot, flavored pulled pork. And just thought you'd like to see how I prepare to do comic art. Ooh, yeah. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, that's pretty. All right, we gotta let it sit for an hour, and then I gotta start a fire up. So I'm going to go do some actual page prep. Now, the way that I start out, when I get a file that needs to be done, I'm going to start out by taking Inkscape, and I'm going to trace off the black layer of the file that I get, because I want a transparent layer of ink that I can work with. And here you see I've made a mistake, and I've got kind of a crummy video lapse going here. I apologize for that. I totally destroyed my very nice file with the real-time inking happening. So you're seeing it from the other side of the glass. So what happened first is I created a layer to sit underneath my transparent inks that I created with Inkscape, and using the auto trace tool, and I laid down the most dominant color in the background is that grungy orange, and then I started laying out skin, and followed that up with, and these are just flatted colors, and followed that up with the fabric for our main character in this story, our main villain, more or less, Winter. And she is in fact a black lady, so we're going to give her a kind of a Creole tone. So we're going with that. These are flats. These are not final colors at all. So I'm putting flats down for skin, That was an unintended pun. Skip that. So we've got some victims of hers in the background, and they have been frozen in ice, as you can see. So the winter character is kind of that grumpy villain girl who we just really don't know what she's going to do next. She might be violent, she might be abrasive, but in any case, we're throwing some fabric layers on here. Everything is getting its own layers. I put skin in one layer because none of the characters are crossing over each other's, well, not much. And I put the fabric for winter in a separate layer, and I put the hair and the costumes for the minor characters in the same layer as skin. Pardon me. Ooh, that was an allergy happening. And we got some skirts here. I believe these are the right skirts. I'm giving them a military school kind of tone, so that if John doesn't like this later, I can come back and change it. Evan Queering is the artist. He's done a fantastic and just dynamic job of laying out these pages. And in a way, he's helped me out. He rarely joins lines together, and that forces me to cut a lot of masks, and that's actually good. Now, I would have blown it on this page because the number of times that I would have had to go back and rework this, I would have spent days working on this page, and it would have been a professional embarrassment for me to do this to myself. Okay, you see, our Asian minor character, I'm giving her a typically black hair tone. That may change, but that's something I can work with, that I can just grab as a flat. I'm going to come back and I'm going to throw some blues on there to give her some highlights, because the name of the game is highlights always. Let's go ahead and push a button here. We're going to paint over here. This mask it's not that difficult to put a mask on, but that's what I'm trying to do right now is I'm putting the mask in, and then I'm airbrushing in the colors for those highlights. And it's not the middle of the masked area that's most important. Usually it's how you treat the attack of the airbrush on the edge of the mask, if you've laid it out correctly. And I don't know that I really have here. I'm easily of both minds. And we sneak down and slap a little bit of color down there, and on the uniforms, and we'll have to come back and work on some backgrounding a little bit in just a few minutes. And this is a point where my hand started to cramp, and I had to stop for a while, which is lucky because I then went outside. All right, this is me working. I'm doing comics right now. But while I'm doing that, I'm smoking dinner for tomorrow. Yeah, look at that. Look at that pork butt. Ooh, yeah. Here in about 12 hours, that's dinner. Oh, yeah. Here, have you a nice big look at that. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going now. let's go do something that actually involves a comic book. All right, now. And it is important to stop and rest. I don't want to be getting carpal tunnel from using this Apple Pencil. That's a downside, a real downer. What I'm doing here is I'm throwing down some layers of background color, starting out with flats, and then I will work my way back and start airbrushing in. Again, I apologize that I lost the good video of this, but I had the replay as a backup, so we'll jazz it up as much as we can from a replay. One of the if you're dealing with an action comic, the more detail you add while you're airbrushing, the more texture, the more the eye sees artwork that's not really there. And you don't want to impose that on the pencil or the inker, because they're giving you the big major details. See these highlights I'm painting in? Those aren't there. They really did leave the room for that, so it's okay. But you wouldn't expect an inker who's pounding out 30 pages a month on a series to have to give you some Bernie Wrights and level artwork in terms of lighting, especially when you can just bang it out with an airbrush here. And remember, again, you're using the vividness of the colors to tell the eye where to go, what's happening, where's the motion, is it left to right, is it up to down, and you've also got the friction between the characters going on, which it's really just some tomfoolery, but hey, at least they didn't murder each other this time. And so we've got the characters who have just been dealt with on the previous page, and a little bit of mist rising off of them, a little bit of light diffracting around them, nothing major, and they are now background until they're foreground in the last pane. You can see that, and it's time really to catch up on the hair and that building in the back. Let me set that aside. Throw the sidewalk up here. Might work in a little bit more. Get the asphalt. Now the headlights are still there. The headlights are still in the shot. So the artwork still has headlights that are coming from the truck that's from our point of view behind us. There we go. Got to put a little bit of 3D texture in here. There are different layers of ice. A little bit here. Got some shadow. A little more. Could put a little more here. Once we get the shadow in, create a little depth with a lighter color here and darker color behind that. If you look closely, those characters, the ice characters, are all 4 different colors to help us visually pick out the depth of the room, the area in that truck. And we're going to have to take some time and put in all those little bitty facets of light, sparkles and such. I mean, that's really what makes the ice characters fun. If you just look at them as a flat ice cube or a flat structure on the page, it wouldn't stick with you long. You'd get bored with it pretty quick as a reader, and might not even finish reading the page. We wouldn't want that. Speaking of which, it occurs to me I got the 3 Jokers yesterday. I pre-ordered that. I will be having a review on my channel, so please go sub to my channel, hit the like button while you're there, and or dislike even. That's fine. And leave me a comment. Leave me a really good joke. I'll take it. Leave me a really bad joke. That'll be fine too. Now look at that. This video is really not great for showing the work going on here with the characters in ice. But there is a lot happening. Every one there we go. Every one of these characters is getting little facets cut into mats, and then that is being spray painted with a lighter color, not white. I don't like to use white very much. I prefer to use a very, very subtle gray, because I don't want the image on the other side of the page to be visible, and a piece of paper without ink on it becomes translucent. If you think about this, ever since we moved away from newsprint, that's actually the case. So unless it's a higher stock, and comics have moved up quite a bit in quality of stock, weight of the page. Now we're filling in the foreground character here. Previous page, his hair was red. Now it's Jimmy Jack Frost. And I'll come back and I'll give these ice characters, I'll give them a little bit more blue and magenta as we see how the page plays out. It's one thing in how you think about it. It is definitely another as you see it start to come together. It's like any other painting. Okay, right about here, if I remember right, I stopped to pause again. So let's go out and look at the patio one more time before we get through the flats and laying out some more of this detail. Alrighty. We're still up around 250. We're starting to cool down a little bit. I'm going to open up the chimney a little bit. Oh, that is a beaut. Look at that. Yeah. Got about 2 more hours to go at this point. Oh, yeah. And at this point, I'm also about Uh, I'm resting up a little bit. I'm right about the point that I'm going to need to put the highlights on my main foreground characters. Oh, that's just gorgeous what I'm looking at. Now, our chimney and a half of natural lump charcoal has just about burned down to ash, but have no fear, that is white hot down in there. I am not sticking my hand in it. There we go. All right, and I'm going to take my hand off of that. Hey, that was stupid. Open her up just a little bit. Bring her up another 25 degrees. And I'll shoot right up to about 275. I left the hatch open here, so we're reading cool. It'll go back up. Don't worry. Oh, we're gonna have some good eating. All right. Now I'm going to shut this off, and we will go back to some comic painting. All right. I have a tendency to say all right needlessly. I'll try to quit that. I'm dropping in some color behind these panels, the little ones that are vertical. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep up a pattern of using blue and teal and some kind of yellow, offset that with an orange, and if there would be some green, that's kind of the triumvirate of colors I'm trying to make use of. Now I'm also painting in you can see the luminous layer, which is going to be a two-part layer. It's going to be a layer of these solid colors that is faded in terms of opacity, and I'm going to come back and erase around where the characters are actually in the foreground to give the illusion of depth. That's not really how our eyes work, but it's close enough, right? It's how our brain likes to see it. I forgot to put that girl's hair on there. We'll have to come back and put her hair on. Still debating about those panels. I'm not sure that those are the colors I want. I'll try a couple of things here. Spray on a little bit here and there. Drop some more light on those headlights. And while I'm doing this, Destiny Mountain Demon is my project on Indiegogo. I would greatly appreciate you if you would go support it. It is a Christian horror story, and by that I mean it is a straight up horror story that it's a pilot for a series of horror stories that doesn't violate Catholicism doctrine. Some Protestant doctrine would probably not fit too well with the way I have used purgatory, but I had to get from point A to point B, and it explains some things without forcing me to beat the reader over the head. I'm using a light pen here. That's where you're seeing these lighting effects. And I tried them on the hair, and that's on the minor characters. The light pen just serves no real useful purpose. So backed off of that and went back to an airbrush. When I do the accents for winter, I'll lay on pretty heavy with the light pen effects because she's almost sparkly. So back to my project on Indiegogo. That's Destiny Mountain Demon. It's it's intended to draw readers in. The story can be standalone. It can grow into a series if enough people will back it. It it has had a lengthy history. The the story was drawn by me back in, I want to say 2018. It was after I retired. It was after I had my good bang to the head that causes me the shaky hand that I mentioned. That's why I draw digitally. My hand shakes a bit, and undo just doesn't cooperate as well on a piece of paper. I love paper. I want to use paper, but doggone it, I burn through erasers and burn through paper like you wouldn't believe. And my wife thinks I'm half crazy when I start doing that. So I want her to believe I don't actually have Tourette's in spite of some of my behaviors. Okay, so here's where I'm throwing those different panel colors up. And you can see how I did change my mind and go with a lighter blue, almost violet, up in the upper right, because there is so much green on the page. I felt it was okay to not have a wholly green background, but I will work in some teal on that bottom left corner. The building in the background is coming in now, and the windows have taken place. We're going to see the glass get some highlights. Look at that. See some more going up. Now this is after a big battle, after a fire. There's all kinds of destruction. So we'll eventually have some flame damage that I'll airbrush in. And to do those highlights, I had to turn off the luminous layers. And that's too much headlight. That's going to have to come off, at least outside of the box. Now you can see some of the smoke and flame damage starting to happen. These two buildings can't be the same color. But if there is a fire inside, then we have to have smoke go somewhere. I decided it's just going to simply go up and out, and even a closed window is totally permeable. Got our asphalt in there now. Try a little orangey fire looking stuff here. Reflect some of that aggression. Throw in some more details, little details, then some shadows, accents. We'll come back to those vents and throw some shadow in there and some highlights in there. So I keep mentioning my project. Please go to Indiegogo, search for Destiny Mountain Demon. Drop $5. I'll get you the digital version in just a couple of days, plus some freebies. You won't be disappointed in the amount of stuff you get. If you get a printed version of the perks, I will be giving you even more stuff. And who knows, I might even throw a spare comic in. I've got a graphic novel that I still have a box of units I could probably send out and absorb the shipping. We'll see. And this is for Fat Girl 2. Fat Girl 1 already exists. You'll see when you go find it on Kickstarter, you'll see my painted cover on Fat Girl 1 as well as my painted cover on Fat Girl 2, which might be up by now. John's really working hard. John Rhodes is a pretty wicked guy. He's got the whole hyperverse in his head. I am way, way behind. I have not read everything. Fix those pictures on the wall there. Well, he has produced the whole hyperverse concept. He's got different artists, different colorists, different inkers, possibly different writers involved. He's done a lot of good work, and it's worth paying attention to what he's done. I hope you will. I hope you go look at it right after you run over to Indiegogo and kick me $5. But subscribe to me, Lonnie Webb, on YouTube. I need the subscriptions. I need the likes. I need the comments, like any new YouTuber. And any YouTuber you watch, whether it's Midnight's Edge or Nerderotic, or the ham radio guys, whatever it is you're into, go give those guys a like and a subscribe. And what you're seeing now is wrapping up the second day of working through this page. Calendar day, not effort day. I probably put 4 hours on the first day and about 6 on the second while I was smoking the meat, and then we left that pork shoulder in the smoker overnight while the ceramic smoker was cooling down. And tonight we get to eat it. I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. The whole family's going to come over. The only person looking more forward to that is the dog. She knows that there is a bone that she's going to get in the middle of that pork shoulder. She's very anxious about that. Now we've got that flame damage in, we've got the smoke damage in, we've got some depth in there. We're missing out on highlights for the main character. Okay. I don't know why I held off until the very end to do that, but we'll do that next.
something good? Is there something good? What is it you smell? What is it you smell? Is there something good over here? Oh, what could it be? Mmm. Yeah. Nice and cold out here. We've had this on the smoker. Oh my goodness, we have had this on the smoker. Now we just gotta pull that out and we're gonna put it in the oven to keep it warm until tonight. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 'cause you know that's pretty in there. Alright. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Oh, I love doing comic book art. Yeah. Oh boy. You smell that, don't you? Mmm, she says. Yes. Mmm, look down in there. Let's see. Oh yeah, oh yeah. That fat has floated to the top a little bit inside there, but that's okay. That's okay. We want that. We want that. We're going to separate that fat off, and then after we get this nice and warm, we're going to make that wonderful juicy thing into pulled pork and add those drippings back to it. All right, let's put this in the oven and let it stay.
Alrighty, I think I have accidentally figured out how to get my iPad to talk to OBS. Don't worry, Captain. If you're watching, I'm going to figure this out the other way too. Yeah. Um, Before I forget, go listen tonight or as soon as possible to Matt Reese's um, YouTube channel. No! Yeah. Hold on. First of all, I started the first of there. I have unpushed the button. I tell you, I feel like Baby Yoda flying this newfangled nonsense. Software developers now, they make things so impossible to do. There's no reason to do it that way. All right, let's go ahead and do some painting. You've seen how I do page prep over the smoker. Oh, I'm over here. There I am. I knew I was somewhere. There I am. Okay. I'm new at this. We'll get there. No! Push the right button. Much better. Much better. Okay. This is a page, as you know, from Fat Girl 2, and I'm still putting this page together. Everything's flatted. I added some lighting, um, and now it's time to start finishing out the characters. How will this work if I turn back that way? Here, let's try that way. Pretty good. Turn movement. Thank you. Things are working. I hope you're not hearing the feedback I'm hearing. It's crazy. Crazy. Uh, I believe I'm going to start. I really need to focus on winter and the frozen people. Let's start with winter first. I want to darken her up. No, wait, she's walking into light, so I'm going to lighten her up. Get her skin color. She's walking into an orangish, yellowish light. Get like a little bit. First of all, let's see if that's a decent color. Now, let's get into, let's just create a whole new layer because I don't want to screw up. Yeah, I like that color. Yeah, for what I'm doing, I like that color. So we're going to cut this. You know, when I first learned how to do this, I had to do it with duct tape. Not duct tape, masking tape. I hate it working with masking tape. Now, working with a piece of cardstock, I didn't mind that so much. Mixing paints, pressurizing tanks. And the more you did, I'm going to come back and put a shadow. So the more airbrushing you did, the more and bigger tanks you had to deal with. That meant all kinds of custom pneumatic plumbing. Crazy mistakes would get made, usually by the operator. That means me. And when you're buying compressed air sprayed out, that means money. So that's why you go to bigger, more complicated, yet simpler. If you've done this, you know why I'm saying that. Tanks and runs of hoses. And this is the same stuff that was used in, and still is used in body shops and car repair. It's not your maker. Uh, those people are crazy. Don't take the card. I take that back. They may not suck, but the Makos that I've been exposed to, you pull in and whatever run of paint that they have, they spray on every car. It's like a car wash.
And if you don't have tape and your wheels or your chrome, too bad, so sad, it's your problem. This feedback's making me talk funny way to read. I didn't believe it. I talk funny at once. I don't even believe I talk less funny than once. So she's walking into the light. We're going to give her some knuckle treatment. Give the middle knuckle a little bit. She's aggressive. Ethan does a good job. Leaves me some room to play. I need an airbrush. Look at that. I don't want this to be overpowering. There's room for subtle. Before I finish this, she needs a jolt of red in this color. Just a jolt. Now, if you paint on canvas, actual canvas, lay the red down first. Always. And by always, I mean sometimes. When you're working with red, a little bit goes a long way. So the same goes, or the opposite goes with brown. If you have a brown undertone, depending on what the pigment is made from, you might be in need of varying amounts of red. But red is very overpowering. You got to know what you're doing. Cadmium versus mercury. Oil versus acrylic. They all behave differently. I've got friends that that don't feel awkward when you observe them like an artist. Uh, observe how their natural skin tones have a certain red isn't the word I'm looking for, but it's effectively red. And it occurs in visually in the brink between shades. Huh, look at that. That's happening all by itself. Wish it wouldn't. My belly is touching the screen. It's a touch screen. My belly is touching. Wow, I feel stupid. Yes, sir. Pick up a little bit now. Good. don't even do this. As much as I love my make the rat shades, take this back a little bit, only a little bit. I could be back doing shadow. Red on a black person's skin is like that mixture of blue and green and very little red on a European. I want to look at that. Just put some more red on there, and then come back and tone that back up. I don't like that. It's about every other week I record some with of that. My eyes have become a little troubled, almost almost to the point of epileptic. That's not the right word for it. I can't remember the. Oh, that's freak sound. I beat myself in the foot. Um, yeah, I got to where flashes of light started to cause that. Lost people. We're going to darken this girl's skin. Her name is Winter. And I'm just going to pick up the flats from earlier. We're going to get yeah, let's get me pick up some painting her is slightly Jamaican, not quite Creole. Oh, I'm I, I'm seeing on the screen. You're seeing things a few seconds behind me. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I'm painting her to look a little bit darker than Creole. I do like the way that Creole women look. It's a very natural appeal that Islanders have had. However you look at it, I don't like that. It's the natural rounding, painting that right away. You know, put the new spray. There you go. There you go. all day. I like that. But she's wearing a kind of a funny artifact accent, the strap thing. Um, I'm going to accent that with some blue. It's so common, it's almost a trope. But I don't like to do that with black people's hair. Switch over. Switch over. Let's see, it's drawn in thicker piece. Okay, we can have that. It's either got to be blue or red. And Venter's thing was all about color. I think we need to stick with it. So I'm going to use darker. What I'm going to do that is I'm going to take a mixture with blue and the surrounding color. But is that what I want? So let's do this. A little more accent in there. See, it's a little fashion accent. So use a little bit of light accent. It's an undrawn line. We can either hang a lantern on it, make it noticeable, or hang a lantern somewhere else and hopefully draw the reader away from it. It's not good even made a goof. That's not what I'm saying. Don't always draw every line. You draw every line, things get boring. Your brain doesn't get to play. It's like a single goal. Some of the best things will never go. Wasn't the same thing that's what I'm talking about. Think about all the clouds and the backgrounds that just never appear completely detailed out. It's no need to. Your mind did the gap. It, it, it built it. Oh, I like that one. It's silly old me. If you're hearing feedback, I apologize. I'm still working on configuring the sound equipment. Put a little black darkness here. I don't like too much symmetry. Symmetry. There it is. I know it was here somewhere. Let your brain know, let the reader's brain know which leg you want to be in the foreground. I'm using a very light spray on the unmasked areas, so I'm going over it just to add a little more definition. Same with the technique. Let's give this almost white, kind of a decade blue. Sounds impressive. The only reason I know that color is that back in the days I was painting model kits, that was the color of uniforms. NCC 1781D, that big. And there was another color that went right next to it that weren't the right colors. Tester didn't work them right, but it doesn't matter. I'm not sure Lucasfilm or ILM chose those colors for the sake of making the best looking ship, but the best looking ship in white. So, yes. Okay. She's walking into the light stand. We are going to use our new layer. This time we are going to just darken. I'm going to clear that all down in the book. Like I said, winter is aggressive. It doesn't mean that she's butch. She's effeminate, she's attractive, capable. Describing her as ladylike seems like a stretch, as she's been around killing people. One of the wiser things said was the opposite of kindness. Make the women in your comic books sellable, not celibate. Which reminds me, I got the three Jokers I enjoyed reading it. I feel I got my money's worth out of it, but it is not a classic, not an instant classic. It's not a dig. It's worth your while, but it tries too hard, too much. And I'm pretty sure you'll say the same thing I did. I set the book down last night, said, yes, that was worth the $19 or whatever I paid for it because I pre-ordered it. The hardback was at the time only $1 or two more. Fine with me. It's that hardback. Fine. Upstanding Creole lady. I like that. Cause no, no, I don't like it. I think she's too big there. She's way, but she's walking into it. But anyway, that's acceptable. Take it back over here. Now, she's standing beside the truck. There is light. We're going to have both shadows and light. Shadows will be harsh. Nice way to piece of jewelry. would. Good. I have not exactly figured out Painter's character yet. She strikes me as the kind of individual that's between a sneer and a sly grin at the same time. You know, the likable mean girl. Too much. Too much. This is probably a good time to mention it would help me great, as well as all the people that on YouTube that you listen to already. Uh, Me being a brand new YouTube person, it would help me greatly if you would hit the like button, subscribe, and even leave a comment. Even if it's a dislike and a snide comment, I'll take it. Be a good time for you to leave me a comment, ask me why in the world did I leave that little bit undid? And I could honestly say to you, duh. I have my dumb moments. That was one. There could be more. And every honest colorist will say to you in person, when I get printed paper back from the printer, I'm always amazed. Sounds like my wife is home. No, she doesn't go in the bathroom. Oh, I wonder why. She doesn't go in the Don't like that urge. Hmm. Let's see. Okay, let's go to the correct layer and fix this file. And I'm assuming she's receiving a blast of yellow light on her face, but I'm going to ignore that fact for this point. And there is a reason for it. don't need to take away from the character. I want to create a contrast. And even there, it is an overpowering blast of yellow light. Maybe some oranges and reds. Don't want to drown out opportunity for a little bit of character in the lines of her face. She's a mean girl, a likable mean girl, a snooty mean girl with a murderous eye. We need to compliment in every way our artist's work. To add shape, to add shape, what he has done and begins to start with. Oh yeah. Ah, mm, oh, too much. Better I'll use my shaky hand as an argument in favor of digital. So I need undo a lot. Just because my left hand wants to shake. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to throw a little red. Not too much. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to blast one big wash spray of red out. Bam. Bam. Too much. You know, could happen. Could happen. No, too much. It's not a dog. It's my wife. God. She's gonna kick my ass. She watches this. she's inviting the relatives over, and they got snake pit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's in the oven, keeping warm, so that fat keeps breaking down, congealing, coming out. It's going to be so tender. Minor characters, I'm not going to overdo them. I'm going to have to go over Winter with the light pen to her accents, and she's got a lot of them. Okay, how much time do I have? I only have 70 minutes left. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stop it right here. By 70 minutes, I mean I have 70 minutes of drive space. Um, if I'm going to go over, I'm going to do these little tiny accents, and then we'll start another page. I'm surprised this is really taking me into a third day. But most importantly, I was preparing all of those comic pages out on the patio. So this is Fat Girl 2. John is going to open up a Kickstarter. That's John Rhodes of the Hyperverse. And my most recent project is on Indiegogo, Destiny Mountain Demon. 10 days left. Badly need some more backers. Only asking for $5. If you want a bigger contribution, it's fine. Yeah, I'll take it. After Indiegogo, I will probably move it to through comic.com. It will be more expensive. But thank you so much for watching and liking and subbing. Come back for some more. I will have a spoiler free, probably, review of the Three Jokers. Thank you all so much. And I'm going to go eat some pork.